The next method is canning. Canning is a method to preserve the food which combines the techniques of heating to kill spoilage microorganisms and inactivate enzymes by sealing in an airtight container to prevent the contamination. So, canning already we know. If we prepared the if your mother prepared the pickles and she bottled the pickle in a such a manner, so she dry the bottles in the sunlight and wipe with a clear cloth, and then she finally sometimes somebody do that one, they heated the water without any moisture. They have to keep all the pickles inside of the bottle, and then they closed in a tight manner, so that is called a air tight. So without entering the air into the bottle, it can preserve the pickle for a long time. That is the bottling. So bottling or canning, so this method is used to preserve the food for a long period of time. So in this method, food is packed in airtight cans so that germs do not grow on them. Because if we opened and kept the food item in a yeah, food item, it can spoil because the air containing oxygen and microorganisms will give impact to the food item, and then it gets food spoiled. Okay, so the canning is so likewise we can use in our home the biscuits we can keep always our mother keep the that biscuits in an airtight container, because the less air can goes into the container, it gets spoil the biscuits, and it is undesirable to eat. So this is the best method used to preserve the food items. Some food item like pulses, grains, biscuits, milk powders. So these are the products that can be preserved by the canning and bottling. The last but not least, we have to know about the importance of food preservation. So why do we preserve the food? Then what is the purpose of the food preservation? So we have to know that one. So in modern technologies, we can use lots of food preservation method, and we have a lot of food items. But we have the food production is increased, but we are ready to keep the food safe, is it or not? We have to think over it. mm, so in our areas, we know that every day we have wasted some food items, but we have to think that at the same time in some areas the lots of food items are wasted, but at the same time many people suffer in the world without food. So food should not be wasted at any means. We have to take a we have to take a oath. We have to take a decision that the food should not be wasted at any மீன்ஸ் எதுக்காகவும் நம்ம ஃபுட்டை வேஸ்ட் பண்ணவே கூடாது. ஸோ வி ஹாவ் டு டேக் அ டெசிஷன் டுடே இட் செல்ஃப் டு some already I told in Somalia, the people those are living in Somalia, they are eating the soil as they make a soil as a chapati, and then they eat and daily in daily hundred and thousands of people are dying in the Somalia because of lack of food. So we have to be very careful. We should be follow the some preservation methods to keep the food fresh for a long time for later use. We should not waste the food. So preservation of food important for the some reasons, following reasons you can see importance. And ஏன் வந்து இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ்லேயும் ஹவுஸ்லேயும் we have to preserve the food means first one, to retain the color and taste and nutritive value of the food. So when we preserve the food, we have to consider that we should keep the food as a safe manner to retain it. Retain means அதோடைய கலர், அதோடைய டேஸ்ட்டு, அதோடைய எல்லாத்தையும் அப்படியே பாதுகாக்கிறது மெத்தட்ஸை வந்து நம்ம ஃபாலோ பண்ணணும். And to make food available throughout the year. So why do we the government takes too many steps to preserve the food items? For example, in ration we can get rice, pulses, and sugar and everything. So for that they kept in preserving rooms. So yeah, and that and in fourth standard I think you may studied about these things. Preserved rooms they build, and then they kept the food item inside of that particular room. It contains some facilities to preserve the food items. So it can be it is make the food available throughout the year. So through and the next important purpose of preservation of food is to prevent the growth of microorganisms like bacteria and fungi, so on the food items. Then to reduce the wastage of food material, we have to if the leftover food or any food is remain, means we have to preserve that one for a next use. So we should not waste the food. And then preserving food only food not only protects our health but also makes the food available to the people who need it. So preservation is the important method because we have food, so we preserve the food. But some people they don't have food. For that people we can give the food to the needy people. Otherwise if we do not waste the food, and then we reduce the our needed items. Because if we waste every day, we waste our food, we need more food items. But we do not waste the food items as a waste, and then we will keep the food for a next use. Then we will satisfy with that, and then we cannot go and buy another food item for a next day. But we can use the remaining leftover food. So the extra that food may go to the needy people. Those don't have food. So for that only we are preserving the food items. So in this slide you can see the important and vital in the food industry due to number of social, psychological and health factors. Increases the shelf life of food. செல்ஃப்னா அது நம்ம வந்து நம்மளுடைய வீட்டு ஷெல்ஃபில் ஒரு ஃபுட்டை வச்சுருக்கோன்னா it should remain for a long period of time. ஸோ இப்போ நம்ம வீட்டில் we can keep cinnamon, mustard seeds and everything இல்லையா, pulses and sugar. So we have to keep for a long shelf life. Okay. Retain the quality of food, color, texture, flavor and nutritional value. Increases food supply, adds variety to the food, decrease wastage of food, make food available throughout the year. These are the important purpose. These are the important need to preserve the food. Okay. Thank you, children.